Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pardon me. What country are you from? Yeah, excuse me, I was just, putting God and indivisibility in the wrong order. Okay, so thank you. We are now.
Of liberty and justice for all. Congratulations, my Huggins. Yes. Congratulations. Remember, ask not what Georgetown can do for you.
Thank you, Ron. Good to see you.
Hey, Rob,
Congratulations, Mike.
Rob, I'll
Good luck.
see you in my office in the morning, okay?
All right, well, thank you very much.
Back to work.
It is now 6 o'clock on Tuesday, March 24th. This is the regular meeting of the Town of Georgetown Board of Selectmen. We are now called to order. Our roll call will begin. Mike Huggins.
Here.
Amanda Cooper is absent today. Alex Sassoon.
Yes.
Dwayne Gazinski.
Here.
Mary Smith. Here. And Rich Barrows is running late and he is not here as yet. So we have a wonderful new way to start our meeting with the swearing in of our new selectman, Mike Huggins for Ward 1. Mike, we're very happy that you're here and thank you for serving. And then Bridget, is this something that you do?
Yes.
The swearing in, excellent, thank you.
Do I stand?
Well, she's gonna,
Yes.
she's gonna tell you exactly what to do.
You got
Put
it.
your hand on the, so you're just gonna repeat after you on the flag. So you're just gonna repeat after me. I, Mike Huggins, do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare
I, Mike Huggins, do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare
and affirm that I will support and enforce the Constitution and laws of the United States of America and the state of Colorado,
and affirm that I will support and enforce the Constitution and laws of the United States of America and of the state of Colorado,
and the charter and ordinances of the town of Georgetown,
and the charter and ordinance of the town of Georgetown,
and shall faithfully perform to the best of my abilities
and shall faithfully perform to the best of my abilities
the duties of the Board of Selectmen upon which I am about to enter.
the duties of Board of Selectmen upon which I am about to enter.
Very good, thank you. Again, congratulations, we're very happy, and Rich is here.
Oh, you have to do it again for
Excellent, thank
You don't have to do a
you.
standing ovation for me.
Well, you might get flowers though, you never know.
From Saudi Arabia, or
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia.
Well, thank you. All right, you have in front of you the agenda for today's meeting. We do have an item that is going to be added to the agenda, which is going to be item number 10. And that is the letter of support for the Clear Creek County Community Project. So we will add that. That is just going to be a letter of support. That's all it is. Any other changes, additions, or comments on the agenda? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as added to?
I'll make the motion.
Mike, Dwayne, sorry,
I'll second.
Mike, Mike, that's great. Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Our agenda is approved and we will move forward. We're in our public comment period. Members of the public may speak for up to 3 minutes on a topic not on the agenda. Written letters will be acknowledged but not read aloud. Comments on agenda items can be submitted prior to the meeting via email to townClerk@townofgeorgetown.us. Bridget, is there anyone online who you need to acknowledge? Okay. And Bob, are you here for public comment? Or no? Okay, very good. Very good, thank you. As there's no one in the public, we will go forward. For presentations, we have Sergeant Straley here today to update us, and in your packet, you will find a report from him with that data. Thank you.
Good evening, just touching base, all the information I have, month of February and I'm sorry, March, but we'll have those guys to you next month. February was relatively uneventful for us. The sheriff's office responded to 95 calls for the month of February in the town of Georgetown, 6 of which required a report to be taken. Of those 6, 2 were arrests. Our investigations team worked on one of the reports that was generated. It was a burglary with very little information, no suspect information. And also followed up on a theft call from January. Good news is we hired an additional detective in March. And she came to us from Golden with 16 years experience.
Great.
She will bolster our detective team and continue to provide great service. The 2 arrests, DUI and a domestic violence incident. If you look at the traffic counts, the highest traffic day was the Saturday of the non-property criminal. I think it was just over 7,000 cars through the roundabout that day. The patrol team did 42 individual patrols through the town. Just under 40, about 39 and a half hours of dedicated patrol time. Our record section, I got the numbers from them finally, they served Georgetown calls for service, records requests, and follow-up with a total of 35 hours in the month of February. We'll be including that information on every upcoming report moving forward as well. Overall, February was relatively uneventful, which is pretty typical across the county. It's one of the cooler months, shorter months. And if the weather keeps holding, it will continue to get busy, so we'll have fun.
Very good, thank
Any
you.
questions?
Any questions or comments? No, thank you so much. Thank you, Sergeant Straley. We really appreciate your time and thank you for showing up, coming here. Absolutely, you too. So moving on to your payables report, which is in your packet. This is the payables review for March 7 to March 19. There's a cover sheet with some comments on there. There's also included in your packet a sales tax report. And so if anybody has any comments or questions on the payables or the sales tax report, fire away. No comments? All right, the payables and sales tax review are accepted as presented. So we will move on to the minutes approval. You have in the packet the minutes of the Board of Selectmen regular meeting on March 10. I know that some edits were provided to Bridget and those were implemented. Any other comments or questions on the minutes? No, okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Rich. Do I have a second? Alex, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good, thank you. So our minutes are approved as presented. We have a long action item list today, so we will start with our appointment of BPC members that is in your packet. And Dennis, did you want to take this?
Yeah, just a couple of things. Left off the staff memorandum were the 2 alternates that serve on the BPC currently. That's Kevin Kuharik and Paul Boat. So we'll add that to the list. The expiring terms are Gary Haynes and Michael Huggins. So we're recommending this evening that the board appoint alternate Kevin Kuharik, who has submitted a letter of interest to be appointed in your packet. Appointing Kevin Kuharik to fill one of the 2 vacancies, as Gary is not re-upping this year. And then also consider appointing Michael Huggins as the Board of Selectmen representative.
And we added a separate agenda item. That's what we added number 9 for.
We are going to discuss that, yes, and then decided that we wanted to add Mike at this time. And then we will discuss commission appointments as well.
Okay, so just for clarification, can I jump in here?
Yes.
So there always seems to be consistent confusion as to when the BPC members' terms expire. And so I would just like to make note that for Carrie, Lauren, and Mariah, even though we appointed them in 2025, we included in that motion that their terms would actually expire as if they were being appointed in 2026. It would have carried over for an extra month or 2, so that their terms expire in 2028. And then, though I know this is going to be moved or it's gonna change soon, the board position is actually an annual term. And so I was appointed in 2025.
So Mike would be appointed in 2026 for a 1-year term,
Right.
is what we're saying,
And
okay.
so then if there was some addendum that was not included here for Paul Boat, he was actually appointed in 2020 or reappointed in 2025, so he'll expire in 2027. And then obviously we're dealing with Kevin's reappointment now for this year, this term.
Okay. So. Do I have a motion? I think I don't, I'm not sure I have the correct wording.
The wording is the same, except that you, instead of Gary, because Gary let us know yesterday morning that he is not interested. Then the appointment would be to fill a vacancy. Kevin Kuharek is being appointed to fill a vacancy.
Kevin is being reappointed to,
He's being appointed to fill a vacancy
Cause he stepped off
as a full member.
But he was still an alternate, he was still,
Right,
he
yeah.
was still on the commission and his term. You know, continues until he's reappointed in a sense, but it was due in February, so we're reappointing him for the next 2 years.
right,
And then. It was a decision made by BPC as to who would be the active members and who would be alternates, so that would be discussed. There might be some shifting, there's obviously gonna be some shifting at the next BPC meeting,
both Paul Boat and Kevin were alternates.
alternates.
The Board of Selectmen traditionally appoints the members, but this past time they broke that tradition and said that BPC can choose who's gonna fill those full members and who will be the alternates.
Right,
So the recommendation here is Kevin is applying to be reinstated as a full member. There is a vacancy, actually, there are now going to be 2 vacancies. So one of those vacancies would be Kevin Kuharek. So the action tonight of the board is to appoint Kevin Kuharek to fill the vacancy on the BPC, which would be the 2026 start. So he would be an expired term of 28.
I'd like it to reflect that he's being reappointed though, because he is going,
Okay.
he has been on that commission for many years and we need to recognize that lengthy commitment that he's made.
okay.
Well, where's Mariah?
She's the second, she's right under the vice chair.
Vice Chair, that's it.
Yeah, I skipped over it too. I'm like, wait, where's Mariah?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we need a motion to appoint Mike Huggins as the Board of Selectmen representative to the Business Promotion Commission and to reappoint Kevin Kuharek to the BPC.
So I need to step down. So I'm submitting my resignation from BPC so that Mike can carry the torch.
Okay.
Your flowers.
There you go.
More flowers.
There's a song, you know?
All right, so Mary, you're resigning, which is very kind and lovely, and you will be missed, I know. And Mike, you're gonna get reappointed today, or appointed, and Kevin's, okay, so the motion is to appoint Mike Huggins for a 1-year term as the Board of Selectmen representative to the Business Promotions Commission and reappoint Kevin Kuharek to the BPC. All right, do I hear a second? Can I make a motion? I don't think I can.
No,
I need a motion.
that's a move.
Thank you. A second? Dwayne, thank you. All those in favor? Any opposed? Very good. So. Bye, Mary. Bye. And we are looking forward to serving again with Kevin. Okay, action item number 2, we have Tracy Troya here. This is a request regarding mayors and commissioners youth award from the town of Georgetown. And you should have a letter that Tracy just passed out to you regarding this request.
Yes, good evening, Administrator Durham and Police Judge Colford, Lord Selectmen. I'm here a little bit earlier this year. We always battle the mayors and commissioners before the end of the year, graduation, theater, state and all. So we have bumped it up a couple of months. What I'm here to do is just explain a little bit. I know a few of you know a little bit about the Mayor's and Commissioners Youth Award. It's put on, I'm Tracy Troy of Department of Human Services at Clear Creek County. And thank you for having me tonight. So what this program does is it honors youth between the ages of 13 and 19 who have overcome personal adversity and created a positive change in their lives and community. Youth receiving the award must be nominated and exhibit the criteria within the nomination. In your packet, I went ahead and put that in there if you have, if you want to take a peek at it or have any questions. All nominees are recognized with an award ceremony dinner. Each recipient receives a plaque, a $500 award that can go towards school, trade school, driver's ed, club sport. We want these kids to encourage them to get out there and really see what they want to do and give them that little bit of a boost. Along with that comes like a laptop, a 1-year subscription of Microsoft 360, 25 or $20 gift card, and some earbuds. The county allows us to work with a small little budget, and we do all reach out to the municipalities and really appreciate all of their donations throughout the years. And then we do reach out to some of the business owners within the community as well to see if they would like to participate. This year, well, I guess this says 2000, okay, it does say 26, I need glasses these days. And I'm sorry for misspelling your name. I'm excited to announce we've got 3 from Georgetown, which is really awesome. So that's the most we've had in years from Georgetown. We have 1 in Empire, 1 in Floyd Hill, and 2 from Idaho Springs. In the past, Georgetown has been very generous to donate $500, and you know, we are open to whatever you would like to donate. And does anyone have any questions or? It's a really neat award. These kids, you know, this is an award that recognizes many that probably wouldn't be recognized otherwise. And some of the beautiful stories that come from it. We have one that was really having a hard time getting out of bed and didn't even come to the award ceremony, but we wanted to encourage them to keep going, you know, step up, you've got this, you know, you have dreams. And he is striving and graduating this year, and he's got himself an internship, and it's a great little program. So he got it as a freshman in high school, and he's graduating this year, and it's just really stuff.
That's very exciting.
Well,
I remember the award ceremony from last year and it was really impressive what the kids have done, what they have gone through, how much they have overcome to get where they're going. So I think it's a very, very worthy cause. Yeah, absolutely. Worthy award. Yeah, for all their work. Any questions or comments for Tracy? All right, well, thank you, Tracy, very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have a motion, board members in front of you. So would anyone
I'll
like,
try to make that motion.
thank you, Rick.
Move that the Board of Selectmen approve the request from NCYA in the amount of $500.
Very second. Thank you, Alan. All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, very good. Well, congratulations. We're
Thank
very
you.
excited to be contributing again.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy. Yeah, absolutely. So item number 3 in your packet is a consideration of updates to the 2026 fee schedule. And Dennis, I didn't know if you were Bridget, Bridget, you're gonna talk about this. That's great. Thank you so much.
So in the work session that we had on the 10th, we discussed a couple changes to the fee schedules, including the town facilities reservation permits, and we wanted to potentially have a resident versus non-resident fee structure with a higher deposit and make that an hourly fee structure. Currently, the fee for a town facility is $150 a day with a $100 deposit. And we're suggesting that we do a residence fee of $40 with a $300 refundable deposit and a non-residence fee of $60 an hour with a $300 deposit. And then the other item that we talked about amending in the fee schedule was the repair cost for excavation permits. We realized that the town repair costs for asphalt versus gravel were low. And upon researching average rates, the raised the dirt and gravel here at $5 a square foot and asphalt $21 a square foot. The typical range for those, for dirt and gravel is, it's like $4 to $7, so I rested in the middle low on that one. And then for asphalt, it's $19 to $25 typically, so I went on the higher end of that, because logistics of getting asphalt here and doing those types of repairs, I thought throwing a little bit on the higher end made sense. So those are the proposed changes. And then the other divisions, we removed the police department category on the fee schedule, because that no longer made sense. They got rid of 2 of the fees under that and then recategorized golf cart registration under, I believe it was business fees, or special event, I can't remember, it's patented. And then I included the water fee schedule updates, which we approved in the last meeting, just because it had, I reformatted it. But it is, the fees that you approved are the same as, nothing's changed other than that.
Great, thank you, Bridget. I had a quick question on the excavation fees. On the old form, there was a type 1, type 2 permit fee. Those are not there. There was also an inspection fee I didn't see, or am I missing that?
Those are no longer relevant fees, so I was looking at.
Okay. And also, it looked like there were more items on the old sheet than on the new sheet. Is that just because you cleaned things up and reformatted everything?
The only things that I cleaned up was in that excavation category, and there were some repeats that I removed. But otherwise, everything should be here.
Everything is, okay, very good, thank you. Any other questions for Bridget? Any comments?
I'd just like to propose that perhaps our residents only get charged half the rate of the non-residents. That seems to be a typical cut when you see it in other situations. I mean,
So doing $30 rather
Yeah.
than 40.
I mean, because most of them are probably already contributing through, some sales tax or property tax or
That's
whatever,
true.
they're already, we're already fronting the bill. So I would just like to see a more of a reduction, unless we can justify why it would be that higher fee.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, so any other questions? Comments? Okay, very good. You have a motion in your packet. Would someone like to make that motion?
I will.
Okay, Alex, thank you.
I move to approve the proposed updates to the 2026 fee schedule with the amendment that residents should be at 50% of non-residents.
Thank you, very good.
Second.
Was that you, Mike?
Yep.
Thank you. All right, all those in favor? Any opposed? Very good, thank you. The new fee schedule is approved, and thank you, Bridget, for making that one change there. Okay, action item number 4. This is consideration of a request from the Clear Creek County Advocates for a $3,000 contribution. Dennis, were you gonna speak to this one?
Just quickly,
Yeah.
the Clear Creek Advocates appeared before the board back in late 2025. They gave you a presentation on their services and what they offer, and then they respectfully requested that the board consider budgeting some kind of contribution support in 2026, which the board then voted on and did vote to include this during the budget process.
Mhm.
Funds were included in the 2026 budget proposal to accommodate this type of expense. And so we are recommending that the board approve a $3,000 contribution to Clear Creek Advocates.
Any comments or questions on this?
I don't know how, to what extent, people present actually know exactly what the applicants do. But this is, a very, very well worthwhile cause.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of the work they do is in conjunction with law enforcement. And, that therefore allows law enforcement to step back from putting people into the justice system when they deserve to be in some form of social services system. I cannot stress enough, this is one of the best type of advocacy groups available. And I'm very familiar with the one in Summit County. I'm not so much familiar with the one that we have locally. But I would urge you all to approve this recommendation.
Thank you. Hardly agree. Any questions or comments? Okay, there's a motion in your packet. Would someone like to make that motion?
I'd like to make that motion.
I'll make it.
Okay, Alex?
It's moved that the Board of Selectmen approve the request from Carefree Advocates in the amount of $3,000 in support of the services provided to support Georgetown families and residents in need.
Thank you. Second?
I'll say,
Thank you, Mike. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That is passed. That is a very worthwhile contribution. Item number 5 is consideration of a nonprofit waiver policy. We had looked at this before. Dennis, I'm assuming you want to comment on this one?
Bridget, say that.
Bridget, very good. Thank you.
This is the other item that we discussed in the work session on March 10th. The only change that was made from that previous conversation where I think the process was, everything looked good, was a verbiage change. And it's the second sub-bullet under step 10. Sub-bullet, how the permanent activity benefits Georgetown, we changed that from being that it's permitted, made it a little bit more formal, so no big change, but same as what we talked about in the work session.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions or comments for Bridget on this one? All right, there's a motion in your packet to approve. Would someone like to make that motion?
I'll do that.
Rich?
Move to approve the nonprofit fee waiver policy.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alex. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Thank you so much. Bridget, thank you for that work. Agenda item number 6 is consideration of IMEG Consulting Services proposal regarding the John Tomei Library building. And Dennis, this is you.
Yes, we're moving along with the steps to be taken in preparation for renovation of the homemade building. If and when the town moves into it, Bob has been working on many of these issues and going very systematically from the demo to now looking at an engineer to come in and stamp approval of the designs for the renovation. It has been brought up to me outside this meeting that it might behoove us to be a little bit more protective of the town's interest on this. And what I mean by that is, we have been progressing on our own path in purchasing the building. It has been delayed a couple of times so that the different parties can get their ducks in a row. And the same thing is occurring with the trust and the library in terms of the move of the library to the old school building. So I would recommend that the motion this evening also be conditional upon, and let's see if I wrote this correctly. Conditioned upon the library move to the old school is officially confirmed before we start work with the consultant. With that said, though, I'd like Bob to give you a quick brief about what IMEG is going to do and why we're selecting IMEG.
That's fine, yeah, I would also like to point out that we're stepping through different. Kind of getting all our ducks lined up, so as soon as the town gets the building, we can start work. And we're doing that without, pretty much without spending any money. The only money that we've really spent so far is we needed to find out if we had asbestos and lead in the building. So we had that done, that was about a $2,500 cost. That's done, we do have asbestos in the 4 tiles in the lower level. I've already got a quote, that looks reasonable for getting that abated, about $11,000. Lead paint is in the exterior walls of the interior walls of the foundation. It's all covered, so we don't really need to do any abatement with that, it's all encapsulated. The next step in looking at, what do we need to do? Is we're going to need an engineer, we need engineer drawings for electrical, mechanical. We're gonna make some adjustments to ventilation in the building since we're creating offices downstairs, in plumbing. You know, electrical lighting and plumbing. So that's what, in talking with the architect that has done all the work over there, as well as the preliminary work for us here, they suggested going to IMAX since they were familiar with the building, they've done all the previous work on it, they have intimate knowledge of the building. I went to them, they are receptive to working with us. I gave them an idea of what we're looking to do, including I marked up a whole set of their drawings, that this is what our thinking is. And sent them that, and they responded. Their proposal is for providing those services per the scope that, you know, that we defined, that I defined to them, for 24,500. And then they have, you know, hourly pricing, a whole sheet of hourly pricing, if you need other things. They've got some, there are some trips included in that 24,500, which probably would be enough to cover everything they need to do, but if there are extras, we have pricing for all that. So it's a very complete proposal. And they're ready to go. The lead time we've looked at, trying to remember how many, it's about 3 months, I think, before we get drawings. We're gonna need drawings to get permits. But I think we can start the permit process in parallel so that we can keep things on track. The target I was looking at is if we start in April with engineering. That would get us in a position if we have permits in place probably about the beginning of July. If we got, and we've been working with the idea they will get the building in June, we could do demo, we don't need engineering for demo. So we kind of got a game plan here. Again, we've been working with the idea of getting the ducks all lined up so that when we have clear direction that the building's coming our way, we can go ahead and start executing contracts and moving forward. So that's kind of where we are on it. Dennis is the gatekeeper. He and I talk all the time, and basically he gets to pull the trigger. He gets to pull the trigger when things happen. I think that's been working pretty well. I've gotten the paint architects sheet. Chris is open to answering questions and working with us. She's gonna send some drawings to IMEC, so they don't have to recreate them for backgrounds and so forth. I just got that back today from her. That was one of the questions they had. So we're getting the questions answered and get everything lined up so that things will run smoothly when we get the go ahead on that. I think this is all pretty much explained, and that's why we felt single source. We go to somebody, another engineer, who has no familiarity with the project at all, they've got a learning curve, and that's gonna cost us money. So these guys are ready to go quickly, and the price is quite reasonable. So that's my story.
And you're sticking to it. Thank you.
One question. I didn't know you guys were that far along, because one of the things that we haven't addressed is that Excel's probably gonna do some more, power. Shutting off power to the town. Is there a way to maybe, do a consideration in that engineering through the box where if we do decide to invest in a generator and making that a spot where folks can,
Emergency.
come in, emergency generator, or is that already in the engineering?
No, the electric, where we're at for the electrical system is the current plan and budget is based on using the electrical service that is there today. It's not expected that the loads will increase substantially, and that should be adequate. However, that's one of the things we will be looking at, because it's one of the things on my list is to get, you know, like our IT loads, loads for the IT equipment, copier, that kind of stuff. And provide that to IMEG, and then they'll verify whether we need to do something more. Right now it's 125 or 150 amp service.
I know, like,
Normally, if you're building a new house, you put, no question, you put 200 amp service in, but that's what, there are 3 panels. We gotta clean up, we're giving a lot of cleanup to do on the electrical stuff.
I'm just asking for consideration that for emergency power, like if we need to get a generator up here, cause Excel's gonna shut off the power for 3-4 days and people need to come and access that along with keeping our IT and some of the essential things going.
We could certainly
I would just
look
ask
at
for
putting
that
provision
consideration.
to plug something in, or we can look at, battery backup. I mean, there's things we can look at. I've already talked
I
with
think that would be a good,
Axiom on IT needs.
cause Excel's gonna shut off Georgetown. And I think that's, you pretty much put that in the bank.
That's a nice backup.
Sure.
Yes,
That's gonna be a 20, 30, 40 year,
Yes.
50, 100 year.
And
Buildings.
I know it's when you go into the box, it's a different breaker and all that kind of stuff, so you don't, kill someone farther down the line.
That's a good suggestion, and those are the kinds of things that we are gonna work with IMEC to
Incorporate.
And a big part of that, as Bob started to talk about, is we've been meeting with Axiom and they're going through the building and they're gonna say, here's where you're gonna put your server. We've been talking with them just now, starting to talk to them about where video screens are gonna go so that we can do this kind of thing. And we've been very aggressive in terms of, we want our Zoom system to be to the next level up and better, so. We're doing all of that. If you have other suggestions, please tell us. And if you catch Bob, walking down the street, grab him and.
Yeah.
Spend half an hour telling him what you think. should
Yeah,
be.
my view is, we're looking to, I'm not looking back, we're looking to the future, another 100 years.
Very good.
If it's not in the budget, we just put in a switch for it and have a pad where we can come
Yeah,
back.
I mean, that,
Right.
go ahead and put the connection in
Right.
is not a big deal.
That might be phased in too.
Yeah, right.
Or you can run
When
one.
our money runs out. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't wanna spend, I just don't want us to execute the contract today with so many other factors that are out of our control that are still up for grabs with their calendar.
Absolutely.
And so, I agree with everything that's set out. I appreciate your further explanation. I think that's great input. So however, we have to word this motion so that once we know it's a go between the other 2 parties and it's actually our building, because there's still some big issues that have to be resolved.
Well, then I would suggest that the motion. Say, move to execute this at the discretion of the town administrator when there is. Confirmation of the move from the modular to the old school. And then we don't have to come back to you, you've approved this contract. And we will execute it, and want the police judge sign it when that confirmation is to us from the library.
Does that formal language work for you, Jerry?
Yeah, I'm working on it, actually.
So while Sherry is crafting,
yeah.
I have 2 quick questions. In the agreement, in this proposal, it says the attached terms are good for 45 days. I'm assuming that's gonna be 45 days from whenever it's executed, not from this moment.
I would read it as 45 days from the proposal.
Okay.
That's typically what that means.
So we have 45 days, so we wanna be aware of that as well.
Well, I would like to start a formal dialogue with them.
Sure.
Dennis and Jerry look at the terms and conditions, make sure there's no issues there, from a legal standpoint, and then.
We'll try to
Basically,
coordinate with
get
their-
everything set with IMEG, and if we need to extend the thing for 60, 90 days,
And we just wanna coordinate with the timing of the library and the old
Yeah.
school, which was already mentioned. And then do we need to know the building code under which this work will be
Absolutely,
done?
yeah.
So are we updating hours to 21 or 24? What was that?
We are, because we're doing that in part because of the wildland fire.
Yes.
Mhm.
We've learned that the our authority doesn't adopt that for us, we have to.
Right.
So that's fine. Well, I'm gonna wrap that into the 2024 IBC
Okay.
set of codes that you're gonna see, and Dennis and I talked about when to schedule that, and
Okay.
we'll be getting that in front of you.
You're gonna
That's
see it in the work session on the 28th. And then you're gonna hopefully vote on it, make a decision the first meeting in May,
So I'm sorry,
What month?
28th, the April.
April 28th.
On the building code,
Yes.
thank
And
you.
then you approve it and whatever the building code is at the time that we move forward, sign again, submit for permits, that's what it will be.
Very
So
good,
obviously, this isn't gonna happen before July 1st.
thank you.
Any other questions or comments? For Bob or Dennis on this? All right, very good. There's a motion in your packet, which I think, Gary, you may
Yeah.
not read because we're changing it.
What I suggest is the motion be, I move the board of selectmen accept the proposal from I make Consultants Corporation for consulting engineering services and authorized police chief Profit sign documents related to this action, comma, upon confirmation from the town administrator that the purchase of the property has advanced to
Mine was better.
has advanced to has advanced to the necessary level. How
So
about that?
moved.
Second.
Mary and Alex?
No.
Rich. Mary and Rich, thank you.
like them.
Second. All right, Mary and Rich, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good, thank you, Bob, very much for all your
Thanks,
work,
Bob.
and everything you're doing, thank you very much. All right, we got it. So action item number 7 is reconsideration of a second amendment to the professional services agreement between the town and Safeville. This was specifically regarding floodplain, and in case you're gonna speak to this, okay, thank you.
Yeah, so the whole board requested that we do some additional research on this. So we did check again with our engineering firm and see if they provide floodplain administration. They do have one person that does it. And did they give us a rate for that?
Yeah, they did. Their rate is $200 to $234 per hour for their floodplain person. The other thing that we talked to Kenneth about was the timeline and how they could turn around an application, and Dwayne was keenly interested in that, and they could not guarantee that they would have a timeline that they could put into a contract that said they would receive an application and be able to turn around in a finite time, so.
But Safeville did say that they could do it simultaneously with the building permit submittal. We also checked with the county and they will not do floodplain administration for us,
So
so.
who was the other firm?
Haley Aldridge.
Okay.
We also asked Stoy at the county if they could provide us some recommendations on firms that they've worked with, and they said they did not know of any.
What is good stuff too, it actually makes more sense if you tie in with the plan review and stuff. So it'd be kind of like, we would do state bill for inspections and then stuff out, plan review to somebody else. It kind of does have to be tied together. It just seemed like a separate item that is really not. The thing we do with building is tied in the state bill. We're good
Just
with that.
doing one additional review for some properties, so. but
Right.
We really don't get, it'd be like 1 or 2 a year, so. typical.
Very good, thank you.
Could I just clarify this question about, the statement about the cost? You said $230 an hour,
$200 to $234.
$234, and yet we have $169 in the packet.
Correct.
That's a different firm.
It's different firm.
Oh, that's a different.
The original firm was at 169, that's Safeville. Is it 169 or 164?
You've got 169.
169. And then Haley Aldridge is the one that does our water capacity work and some other those small engineering things. They have a technician that would do that at 200 to 234 per hour. And that's just a technician. If you see, and Georgia can probably attest to this, sometimes we get invoices from Haley Aldridge and there's more than just a technician involved. There's a technician, there is a report writer, and so it could be above that range, but that alone tells us that we're better off going with the safe build when it comes to cost.
But it's also better to go with them, just to be already using this.
We think so. We have a good relationship with Alejandro. He's very responsive and, in fact, he's working with us right now on the code update, so.
Good, thank you. Any other questions on this? All right, you have a motion in your packet. Who would like to make that motion?
Make a motion.
Mike? And second? Was that
Second.
Mary? No.
Sorry, you guys are fast tonight.
Was it Dwayne or who seconded?
I did.
Thank you, Alex. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that's great. And that motion is passed with the amendment, so thank you very much. Thank you, Kasia, for your work on that. All right. Item number 8. This is the 4th amendment. Yeah, to the closing. This is between the Centennial Opportunity Fund and the town of Georgetown. And Dennis, did you have some comments on that?
Yeah, there was a kickoff meeting that CHAFA organized last week. Kurt was on the call and I was on the call, and CHAFA had 7 people on the call. So you can imagine the bureaucracy that we're dealing with. And I was a little disappointed in their timeline and lack of urgency, but it was explained to me that the expectation that this was gonna be done months ago was probably not a reasonable expectation. So with all that said, they asked for another extension of the purchase agreement. You'll recall that the board gave the last one up until the end of April. That's correct. No, at the end of
No,
March.
Yeah, it was the
And
March.
so now this 4th amendment is to take us to the end of April, and they promised us, the chapter team, that they would have this all wrapped up. And that this project, Prop 1, 2, 3 project would be complete. Jerry, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, Dennis said it right, it does take time, but eye on the prize, this is the right thing, a good thing. And there's not really a reason to be distressed about other than just it's, irritating, but it doesn't signal anything wrong with what the town's doing. In fact, it's absolutely worth it for the town, grant the extension.
Very good, thank you. Any other questions on this?
Is that long enough?
Yeah. We think so.
In case they have 9 people on the next call?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Jerry said it's okay.
You just kind of have to hang in the pocket and stay the course,
Okay.
and then you get there.
So there's no cover letter, there's no motion there, but would someone like to make a motion to accept this amendment as presented? Mike?
A motion to accept the 4th amendment to purchase agreement to extend the closing deadline until April 30th, 2026.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Alex. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. The 4th amendment to April 30th, 2026 is. I know, right? Yeah, it's getting very exciting. So this, item number 9 is a discussion of the Board of Selectmen Commission appointments. We basically started this with the appointment of Mike to the BPC, which we did in agenda item number 1. We also have a need for a parks appointment. So if somebody would like, now I've also, just to back up, I had sent out the commission's appointments list to everybody for you to look at, take a gander at. I know we have an opening position on parks and also on economic resiliency, because Amanda would like to come off of economic resiliency. She's going to go on to parks, just so everybody knows, but we'll take, she said she would take whatever we give her, so that was kind of open. So,
The Silver Plum Sewer.
and the Silver Plum Sewer Commission, thank you. So,
When do they meet?
oh,
Have
hardly
they-
ever. Yeah, they have.
We usually schedule a meeting, but Brian passed away and then.
And they hardly ever meet. I know Parks meets once a month, maybe twice a month. What is their
Parks
schedule?
meetings once.
Once, yeah.
On Thursdays.
Thursday.
Okay, and even economic resiliency is a quarterly meeting. It lasts about 3 hours, so there's that. So if you, does anyone here want to step in? If not, you can get with me after this meeting and let me know what you would like to do. Okay,
I'll warn you, I'm on both of those.
warn us.
Yeah. They're fun. Parks Commission is great. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I still don't know if I can make it in
Make
time.
sure of it.
I know, that's the hard part. And Amanda can take part. She doesn't mind. She would like to do that. I think economic resiliency is where we really have in the Silver Plume Sewer Commission. So those are two things. And so Alex, did you want to take economic resiliency?
I would have to look at a calendar.
Okay, we'll figure that out after this.
When do they meet?
Quarterly,
Once a quarter?
once a
Yeah,
quarter,
they
but it's like a half a day. It's like, you know, from 9 to 12 or something like that. So
I'd be interested in that.
do you want to come off of fire or stay on fire? All the
I would
things that you do.
Well, yeah, I'd stay on
Stay
fire.
on fire, okay.
but- Cause it's only a quarterly deal.
Yeah. All right, so I'll reach out after this meeting to everybody and
Alex, that sounds like you're on sewers.
I know, right?
That's nice.
Alex will get the sewer commission because they don't meet. It wouldn't interrupt your schedule. All right, we're gonna put Alex on the sewer commission. All right, very
Yeah,
good.
it'd be good to have Amanda on parks.
Yeah,
Especially if she's
Amanda's
interested in switching over.
yeah, she would
That's what
be
she wants.
interested in switching over for sure. So what I'll do is I'll update the commission appointments list and we can formalize that at our next meeting. Very good. Thank you all for that. And I'll just make myself a note here. All right, last is the agenda item 10, which we added, which is a letter of support for the Clear Creek County Community Project. Dennis, did you want to speak to this?
Well, occasion can.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry, Kasia.
That's okay.
Yeah, I apologize, Kasia.
Yeah, so Erica Dubich, who is the grant coordinator for the county until April 13th, when she will become the housing authority executive director. She has requested that the town of Georgetown sign on to a letter of support that the county has submitted to you. That is an application for the grant, sort of a long name. It's like community. I apologize, I don't have it in front of me, but it's a community grant through congressionally directed funds through the office of, and then like all of our elected officials at that level. So, and this grant is to fund an updated generator infrastructure at the courthouse to not just support the jail during times of specifically the public safety power service shut off, but also for emergency shelter services. So exactly what we were talking about earlier. They're not asking for any financial contribution, just our support, so.
The more support they get, the more likely they are to get the grant. Right, exactly. Thank you, Kasia. Any comments or questions on this? No? Okay, thank you. Would someone like to make a motion as is in your packet? Right.
I'll move.
All right.
And I move to approve the town of Georgetown signing a letter of support for the Clear Creek County grant application to upgrade the generators infrastructure at the courthouse.
Thank you. Is that Mary? Yeah. Thank you, Mary. All in favor? Any opposed? Very good. Letter of support is approved. Thank you. And now we go into our, we went faster than I thought we would. So staff. I know, yay, this board is great, see how quickly we move through things, it's awesome. I do not have a police judge report today, so we will move to going through the Board of Selectmen. Mike, we'll start with you, I'm imagining that you don't have a report, obviously, because you're not on anything yet. Okay, Dwayne?
Paige actually attended, I was by Zoom, and I had a hard time hearing most of the meeting.
For Housing Authority?
Yeah, for Housing Authority,
I
so.
did provide an update on that and my staff.
And your staff report, so we can go over that then, if that's okay, Dwayne? Okay, very good. Alex?
No report.
All right, very good. Rich?
The Historic Lands Commission met and, I guess you guys have been working with them. There was a Silverdale parking lot deal.
Correct.
And I guess the Forest Service is gonna work with the commission, but their process usually takes a couple of years to work through. So, to turn that parcel over to the Historic Lands Commission, they're thinking that they may be able to close on the Taylor Trust land, the other half of the mountain behind Silver Plume, by April 8th.
Oh, wow.
But we'll see, because they may have 7 people on their conference call. A lot of hoops that they're jumping through.
That can
with
happen.
$1 million grant process. And then there's a volunteer group that's going to do a lot of work this summer up close to the 730 mine trail.
Oh, wow.
And the main mind and make that a lot safer and better and keep it historically significant. The fire authority meeting, they have a new board member from, and she went through the process with the county. Taking one of those, I think, I can't remember her last name, Nancy from Dumont. And, she's already asking a lot of questions, which is good.
Yeah, that is good.
And Jeremy and his crew, Daniel, they've been coming out and they're gonna be coming out for us next Tuesday to talk about fire mitigation. But they've been just wonderful to work with. They've been very busy, the fire authority's been very busy.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you, Rich. Mary, any updates for you? So Rich's segue, so we are going with Sips with the Selectmen, Sips with your Selectmen in Ward 3 next Tuesday night. Bridget, can you post something so that we're legal in case anybody else shows up?
Yes.
Or
And
how-
that's sips of soda.
Yeah. It is confirmed at Cabin Creek Brewing and, they did say that they would at least put out some pictures of non-alcoholic beverages. Otherwise, it's a BYO kind of thing with the bar. And, Rich was able to secure the fire authority to, Chief Jones is gonna actually be there to explain to whoever shows up about their mitigation plan. So we're really excited about that because I think it'll be an all-in-one, kind of thing. We've got several topics that we're covering with them. We're ready to present to the community and mostly ideas that are going on or projects that are going on in Ward 3. We'll see who turns out. So we've hit the apartment complexes with little mini flyers. Oh, thank you. And contacted all the HOAs of the condos that are in our ward, and it's been posted on the town's website and social media. Anna put together these nifty little things, so hopefully this will make it easier for when you guys all do yours. Yes, well, yeah, so I don't know, I mean, we hope for a good turnout, but we don't know what it'll be. So 6 to 7:30, if you wanna come by and spy on us or anything like that, Georgia will be there. Yes, I will be. And,
And if you could send us a slide with the actual logo, so I don't, and usually there's some branding. Like sizes and all that, and where it can be put on a page. I'm gonna do just a couple of pages of a PowerPoint with bullet points.
not called PowerPoint anymore.
They're not called PowerPoints,
They're just slides.
slides.
Yes.
Whatever they
And
are.
Yes.
with the town colors, so
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah, cause these were PDFs,
Yeah,
so we
so-
really couldn't tinker too much with them, so, yeah.
Anna will help too if you have any
Yeah.
requests for help.
Definitely. And I just wanted to say, these are great ideas, and I know that for Ward 2, you are gonna hopefully do this in April. I'm trying to see if the wards can do this quarterly. Because I think it's really helpful for our community, and I know that you just met with Amanda, so you guys are figuring all that out. So, yeah, thank you very much.
I did reach out to Anna too, and asked her if she could put something really simple for us, something, this size, even whatever, just outlining what we can share with the community, reminding about express bill pay. Anything along those lines, just so that, we can touch on that, but mainly we're trying to deal on the projects of what's going on in Ward 1. Then the other thing, Dwayne and I and Dennis have finished the town administrator evaluation process that you will all be seeing soon in the theater near you. I believe they've gone out to staff and commissions. Those were sent out.
Jerry's already receiving.
Okay, those were sent out Friday.
Yeah, they're coming in already.
Last Friday.
Okay, great.
Hot on the press.
Our goal, so we're collecting the information from all staff, all town staff. We're giving all the commission members an opportunity to weigh in. That information is being sent directly to Jerry, so it's protected. And then that will be disseminated to us with our evaluation packets. And we want to have this wrapped up by April 28th. So give or take a few days next week, because the end date or the due date for you right now in that initial packet is this Friday. And so as soon as Jerry and his team at his office can get those around, then we'll be able to move forward on ours. Mike, welcome to the board. I suppose you might have received one as a commission member.
Received which stuff?
Received an evaluation
Yes. Yes, I
Okay.
did.
And so I would encourage you to fill that out.
Okay.
In all fairness, you haven't worked with Dennis in the same capacity, so we would like you involved in the process, but you,
Do I fill out from the perspective of the commission?
Yes.
yeah.
Alright.
I think that would be
That's how it's
most fair, yeah, I mean, otherwise.
That's a good, I can help you fill it out if you want.
Yeah.
I'll just send over you send back.
I like your style.
Yeah. So just to point out though, you mentioned that we were gonna have a work session on the 28th, and we would also be planning on having an executive session on the 28th. So let's just keep that in mind for what also happens in between the work session and the executive session.
Believe me, it's all I'm thinking about.
Okay, as it should be, yes.
It keeps me up at night.
Okay, so that's all I got. Thanks.
Great, Mary, thank you very much. That was wonderful, very wholesome. And now we have our town attorney report, Mr. Dahl, and that is in your packet. You should have that sheet in your packet.
It is, I can, did a couple of high points on it. You had requested some time ago that I do a short form of a longer memo, and so I boiled it down, it's 2 pages now. And I'm sure I could boil it down some more, I was looking at it. But, like all of these public meeting and open meeting and open records questions, always call me or email me when there are questions that come up for you, and I'm very comfortable getting those kind of questions that we do all the time. But the high points around public meeting notice requirements or public open meeting requirements are in this memo. There's a statute. There's the definition of what meetings are open. And I gave you the whole definition where you've got a majority or a quorum of the bodies in attendance. So majority is 4 here, or a quorum is also 4. The open meetings law says if you got 3 or a quorum, it's open. If it's a quorum or more, a majority quorum, then you've got to give notice. So if 3 of you show up at a coffee shop, talk about public business, you don't have to give notice ahead, but it's still an open meeting. Right, and if the press wants to sit next to you, they can. If there's 2 of you, you can kick them out.
So if there's 3, we can meet, but it's open.
It's open, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
and that's just how it is. When you get 4, then that triggers notice requirement 24 hours
Okay,
ahead.
thank you.
So you'll see that it doesn't really matter, formal action doesn't happen. It still is a public meeting because it could happen. The notice has to include, as the statute says, specific information where possible and where it's available. And there's some case law around this, and I will have a suggestion later that, you use okay, let's add something on the night of the meeting sparingly. You add it where, it only came up in the last 24 hours and you really do need to act on it tonight. As opposed to, well, it's a convenience, let's just kind of add it to the agenda, get it out of the way. I would recommend not, because of sort of how the case law reads. So there's that. You can continue to follow that practice of adding deleting from that. It's fine to delete from the agenda at the last minute, because that often happens. Executive sessions, I guide you on those. The statute says that you've got to have the right motion and the right citation to the section of the statutes, and we're in a mode right now where we haven't had many lately, not good. But when we do, I guide that process. I did make mention on the second page of chance meetings and social gatherings. And I even gave you the quote out of the statute that chance and social gatherings in which the discussion of public business is not the primary concern. Because I recognize that, especially in a small community, you know each other, you might go to weddings, or you're at the bar and there's 4 of you. You happen to be at the bar, but you're not there for public meetings. That's a chance social gathering. Be aware of the optics of that, no question. But chance social gatherings are perfectly fine. You can go to weddings, all of you can go to a wedding. That is not a meeting, doesn't have to be posted 24 hours ahead. But just make sure that you don't sort of slide into public business discussion mode, which is easy for all of us. It's easy for me when I'm with someone that I work with, and we're talking shop all the time. So just be mindful of that if you end up in a social setting. You can go to other meetings of other town groups, you know, planning commission, DRC, et cetera. And you don't, there's not a separate board of selectmen notice for that. Because that meeting's already been noticed as a DRC meeting or as a planning commission or whatever the heck it was. So there's that. I've listed some specific recommendations, and of all the bullets, we're doing all of them except two already. And the two are the sort of next to toward the bottom, a written policy on when items can be added on the meeting night, and I'll generate that. I think that's good for us to have. And I'm mostly thinking defensively here. If we add something that's challenged, you didn't give appropriate notice of the fact you were gonna act on that engineering contract. I wanna be able to say, we've got a policy on that. And we follow the policy. The contract wasn't available until 16 hours before the meeting. And we really needed to act on that contract in order to have the contractor on site. That's gonna be just fine. You know, that's perfectly defensible. But the written policy will remind us never to use adding things to the agenda as just a convenience. And I know a lot of boards do, but the courts are being a little more careful about calling people out on that. So I want to be more careful. And I also, the last bullet is, I see some cities, I think they do the right thing in their stock agenda form. That they say, look, the board may, you know, take action on any or all of these items, but maybe not. And I want to be able to give you the room to either act or not on a given agenda item. I want that clear in that. So we'll just add that as kind of stock language. At the beginning, just as we have that stock language about comments from members of the public, care letters will be received and not read aloud. We had a situation once before we had that policy. The police judge had to read this long diatribe, I guess, that was written. And because we didn't have policy otherwise, and it's appropriate to limit public comment in various ways. You limit it in terms of time, and you limit it in terms of submitting things. Well, we're all open to receive documents. We just don't have to read all your stuff, you know, but we will receive it, it's in the record. I'm gonna follow this up with a memo I've written that Dennis already has, and we'll give it to you on email and public records.
Oh, good.
And sort of how to handle that and how to navigate the requirements of the statute around that. It's not hard to do. I do it all the time. But it's advice that, in particular, because of the reliance we all have on email. When you're doing an email about public business, you've generated a document that if I'm from the press or anyone, I can ask for a copy of that. Whether or not you send it to me on your personal cell phone, your personal laptop, or under your selectman email, it's still public business. And that comes as a surprise to a lot of people. It came as a surprise to Governor Ritter, I think. Was it Ritter? Who was, Mike Romer, thank you, started with an R.
Yeah.
Who was using his cell phone for lots of things. And, well, no, I'm not gonna give you my text messages, Denver Post, and he was wrong about that. So, you know, it's better to know that ahead of time before you write stuff. And I'll have specific recommendations, easy things to follow to keep you out of trouble. That's my story.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Any questions on any of this? Very thorough, really appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you, Jerry. Our next report is staff reports. We'll start with Bridget, our town clerk. I know you included something in here. Is there anything you wanted to add or?
No, I think that pretty much covers what I've been up to. Excavation permits are starting to roll in as things are warming up. I'm working on cash receiving for utility bills and other money that's coming in. Business as usual for the most part. I did want to add something to Jerry's plate. We had talked about looking at the short-term rental ward limits based
yeah.
on how we handle the Bighorn Crossing
Yep.
dwelling units. So that I can proceed with auditing that and making some limits.
Sure, let's you and I talk about it, and we may think about asking the board to weigh in.
Yeah.
And we can sort of staff it up a little bit in a memo for them.
Perfect.
So we'll avoid doing it tonight, so that'll be added to the agenda.
I like that.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anything else, Bridget? All right, thank you very much. Next, we have our treasurer's report. I know that, Q is not here today. He's in training today and tomorrow. He's got a quick note here. We can just accept that as his report unless Dennis has anything to add to that. No, okay, very good. And then moving on to Kasia, our assistant town administrator report. Kasia, you also provided something very much appreciated. It's a lot on here, so you've been very busy. Anything you wanted to add to or comment on?
I just want to let you know that in anticipation of us having a really dry summer, I know that we were interested in fireworks on the 4th of July. I just put out some feelers with some drone companies just to see what that would cost as an alternative. So nothing definitive to propose to you at this point, but I am just talking to some of those people, so.
Well, I'm glad you're thinking about that, because that's really gonna be top of mind for everybody. Any questions for Kasia on her report?
Now, where are we with either addressing it at a work session or with the actual service that we had discussed a month or so ago with the texting service?
Oh, yeah, on solve.
Yes.
Yeah, also.
It's something that I really want to give to Anna as a tool for her to do promotions and connections. We would also be, yeah, it's something I need to work on and do a more formal thing, so.
So that's gonna be under Anna?
It's
As
coming.
our PIO? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay,
it's-
that's
it's,
fine,
You know, she kind of,
because then we wanted to discuss what that was too at our morning, at our work session, so like, okay, I just didn't want us to lose sight of that.
No,
just
thank
just a
you.
question for you, Mary, what are you imagining as far as work session, like what our policy would be about when we would send things, or what kinds of activities we'd be using it for, like what are you imagining?
Yes. All of the above. Well, because the one that is set up for Jeff Tom is more of an emergency
Yeah.
purpose, and then we do still have that gray area of, well, it's not quite their emergency, but it's our emergency.
Right.
So,
And just information that can go out to everybody.
Yeah.
It's a great service, so we wanna learn about it
I
more.
mean, we're paying for it now, let's,
Right.
get it up and running and use it. Within whatever parameters, we're checking whatever boxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Any other questions for Kasia? Very good. Thank you, Kasia. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Alex. Please.
Timeline for the gazebo in City Park.
I haven't gotten to my report yet, but yes, I'll tell you in a minute.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right, now we'll move on because now, all right, our next report is from Dennis.
Okay, my report that you have in front of you mentions a couple of things I want to just take note of. The Excel Energy Red Cross PSPS preparation. We met so that we would be better prepared for the next plant outage. Excel Energy has a partnership established with Red Cross so that we can kind of staff up how that reaction is gonna happen. You can see already that the county is working to do the same thing. So this last PSPS event kind of exposed where we need to work on these things. And Excel seems like they are committed to making it better. They have made available to us an internal emergency response program that we can have access to the next time that we do this, and therefore we will have more information that we can share with everybody in the community ahead of time. I think that was the biggest complaint was the lack of notice. And while that's inherent in something like this, they didn't know ahead of time further and didn't communicate, so we're working with them on that. The Clear Creek County Roundabout Service, it is one of those services that the county is trying to get a handle on because of their budget issues and how they're going to fund that going forward. So this came about in just an offhanded comment between Colton and I one day when we were having coffee and talking about things, and he has now organized that to be more staff members from the county being involved and others that might be interested in the future of the roundabout. We talked about things like including other partners, visiting other transit services from nearby communities to see how they do it. Breckenridge and Winter Park was mentioned. So they're trying to learn best practices and see how to better organize the roundabout service and how it should transition into the future. Safe Built they have indicated that they're interested in establishing an office here in Georgetown, which would help them serve not only Georgetown, but any other services that they provide around the area. We took them on a tour of 3 different locations and now they're considering our recommendation, and we'll hear back from that hopefully in a week or two. The city park tree removal, I have to take a minute, and I hope you can all join me when you run into fire authority personnel, but a huge shout out to them. They showed up, they helped us to take apart that large 160-year-old tree. They did not charge us a penny for that work.
Wow.
And they just did a great job. They knocked it out in one day. We have saved the trunk. It is now over in the event parking area, and it's a lot of wood that we hope at some point we can utilize for putting together some type of public amenity like benches or tables, or maybe even help us with reconstruction of the gazebo if we can mill it in time. But Bob advised me the other day that usually milling a tree takes about a year. So.
Well, it's gonna dry.
Yeah, and that kind of blew my fantasy, building a new gazebo out of the pine tree. The gazebo, right now, the gazebo, the base is stable and that's savable. We've had a number of people looking over, Tim McDonough, Cindy Neely. Our plan is to reconstruct the gazebo as close to the damaged gazebo as possible. So Tim McDonough has asked that we save some of the key pieces of the structure that's now in City Park, so we can use those as forms to reconstruct the same type of architecture that was there before. That is going to be a challenge. But I will also say that we've had a hugely positive response from local contractors who are interested in helping us reconstruct that. I have 6 on my list already. It was the first day and they were calling Vocation and I to try to get their names on the list. And it wasn't because they wanted a job, it was because they want to be part of reconstructing this historic structure. So at the timeline I don't have, but keep in mind that we're a government agency, we have to follow our purchasing policies, which means we're gonna have to develop an RFP, we're gonna have to send that out and solicit bids. So our plan is our goal is to have the gazebo reconstructed for the 4th of July. If that means it has to be partially reconstructed to support the band and all of our traditions for 4th of July, and then come back and finish it off later, that may be what we have to do, but that is our goal. And then lastly, I wanted to point out, Jerry was talking about the memo that he wrote with you this evening. These issues are coming up between Jerry when we talk normally, and when we talked about updating the board and the public on what the Open Meetings Act requires. I asked Jerry goes to work and he comes up with all of this, which I think is extremely helpful. The last one we came up with was the email communication, because there was one of our boards, one of the members on the board was sending emails out to people and asking for comments and their thoughts. And I knew that we were running into a gray area, so Jerry stepped in and he's gonna do this. The reason I'm bringing this up is because if you have any issues that you would love to learn more about, get a refresher about, or just you've heard about something in the news that somebody else stepped in it and you want to not step in it, please pass that on to me or to Jerry and we'll keep the flow of information. I think this is a good educational tool for Jerry to continue to slowly teach us about things and remind us about our responsibilities. So, okay, lastly, the I-70 Coalition sent out some statistics on I-70 traffic. You have that as a packet in front of you. It's very interesting, but also a little concerning because I-70 traffic is down significantly. And they're pointing to on certain parts of I-70 being the lowest traffic counts since 2016.
I think in our county. Those
Yes,
yeah.
yes, all of these are different measuring, traffic measuring. I think if I remember right, there's Idaho Springs measuring, there's Empire location. There is the tunnels. There's a 4th one. But I don't remember what that is off the top of my head.
So the reference between this year and 2016 directly correlates with degree of snow. 16-17 was a low snow year at the beginning. It ended up being very good, particularly in April and May. And so there is a direct correlation with that.
I believe you.
We have to go back to 1976-77 season, we have to go back to the 1981-82 season, which both were followed by the way, by huge avalanches the following year. I don't know to what extent we might get that around here, but it's something to be noticed. that perhaps we need to be aware of the possibility.
That's a good point.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any questions for Dennis? Any comments or anything? All right, very good. Dennis, thank you very much. Well, Mike, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you go get those flowers and water. I'm in to adjourn. All right, very good. Whoa, that was fast. 7:20. All right, Mary, Alex, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We are adjourned.